Hi, everybody.
Hey, what it do?
And see?
How are y'all doing today?
Good.
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 Tired?
It's
They
a
have this up for
Costco.
about 36 hours.
Ah, perfect.
Alright, well, we're learning more about costumes today. And one of my favorite people is named Rachel Zoe. You can always look her up. But she has this one saying where she talks about how style is all about expressing who you are through your clothing. And I fully believe that, and that's what we do with costumes. That's what we do with interpretation and figuring out what era people are in with the show. So that's what we're going to look at today. If we can all get out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. What I'm going to have you guys do today for about 5 to 7 minutes is look at these costumes. You're allowed to come up and look at them. You're allowed to touch them. You're allowed to hold them.
Do you make
Feel
those?
them. Huh?
Do you make those?
No, I did not make these, but I do go and I vintage shop for them.
Every once in a while, if you can try them on.
We cannot try them on.
I
Some of,
doubt any of them will fit me.
some of them are very fragile. Some of them are very fragile. But no. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 to 7 minutes to come up, touch them, feel them, hold them. Make sure to keep all drinks away from them, please. So keep them over at your couch. And jot some things down that you notice about them. What the texture is like, what the feeling of them is. That if they have sparkles or not, if they have fringe at the bottom, different details, things that pop out to you about them. And then I want you to pick out your favorite piece out of all of these and bring it back to your seat as much as you can, Pedro.
Which one's pretty? Just say which one's pretty.
Pick out your favorite piece and you can bring it back to your seat and we're going to talk about them and why it's your favorite and what things you noticed about them. If someone grabs your favorite or if there is not enough, I believe there should be enough, but if there's not, just mention which one is your favorite and we'll go from there, okay? So go on up here, feel them, touch them, play with them.
I'm gonna try to draw first.
Make sure to jot some things down.
I'll pick which one.
No.
The pretty.
This girl.
So how things going with you, man? Hold on.
Especially at the moment.
I chose this one because it's simple.
That's the one I was going to choose.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? You know the things like in Victoria's? You guys watch it? Victoria's? Jade? Yeah. Because she used to wear stuff like this.
Have two, this one and that one. Hey,
So
Dawn, you
just
wanna
about
choose
this one?
Jot down anything you saw within all of them, and then we will specifically talk about each one that you found and what you've noticed with them.
This zipper doesn't work.
I'm like, what was that in your one?
You just got three. That's what they say.
Looks like there's 3 left.
Let me see.
You would never catch me right.
Please be
Like
very
this.
careful.
I look good.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a little. We gotta write about the dresses.
Yeah. You are to find details in them that you find interesting, if that's the beading on a dress, if that's the fabric choice, if it's the way that it was cut, the style of it, what era you think it is in, different things. Do a little bit for all of them, and then we're going to talk specifically as a group in a circle which one you picked out and why you picked it out.
Carousel? Carousel? Mm-hmm.
Small, any of the small here? I'm an extra small.
If it helps you or not, that's a historic actual piece that will probably fit you. It's a small but roundy. It's like an extra small.
That's
Is
like
this
a child's
lace? That could
dress.
fit you.
Like a girl.
If you think it's lace, jot it down. We'll talk about it.
I know this one won't fit me.
You know what I've nicknamed that one? The one that she's holding up? Met Gala.
Met Gala. Okay.
I have 2 gala dresses.
I love people.
Give you guys about 3 more minutes. And we have 2 dresses left. If you don't have a dress yet, feel free to pick one up.
Like, oh, like,
It's called theater.
so what? Not
What
for
type
real
of
though. What would I
fabric
call
is
it?
this? It's so
Have you worn any of these?
Overlayer.
I've worn that one.
What would you
I've
call
worn
this?
that.
You look good, Pedro.
What about it? What?
What would you call it? The bottom, like part.
That cuts at the bottom.
It's like a layering effect.
So
I've worn that one.
which one?
This one?
I've worn the one in the corner. I've worn this one.
Oh my god, I should know stuff about dresses. I watch Say Yes to the Dress all the time. I be judging those girls. Some like they be getting dresses that are like $13,000 and they're the ugliest dresses ever. Oh man. There's this one girl. She decided to have a white dress, like from top to bottom, black and white stripes.
Ew.
It's the ugliest thing ever.
Either go all black or go all white. Don't mix it. Ew.
Yeah, this one. Somebody will wear.
At least tell me that there was a slimming way for stripes. Good. Really?
I'm about to wear that dress. I haven't tried it on yet.
That one?
It's at the.
The black with the white detailing at the top.
I love you.
I didn't go that.
That one I just got at a vintage thrift store on Monday.
Yeah.
I love thrift.
Then where do you go?
I go to flea markets or I'll go to antique stores.
What flea markets have you gone to?
I've gone to a few up in the region, which is like northwest Indiana,
Like 2 weeks before.
and then I've gone to a few down in like Indianapolis, like The one that I got that dress I got at a flea market.
And it's
Just let you notice if I
Mason
get our
flea
fingers
market
there,
on
I'm
the
so
side.
Oh
Alright, I'm gonna give you guys about 1 more minute, so finish up the last few of your detailing.
no, I'm tripping.
It's Mary Poppins meets Queen Elizabeth, and I love it. It's got
You
frills.
thinking of
It's like
Incredible.
1960s, 40s-ish,
ew.
but it looks like it could have been worn as like,
Alright, I feel it. I'm down.
I don't know,
What picture would they wear this in?
Alright, do we have everything jotted down?
as like
Got some ideas going?
a lady of the night in putting
Alright
it
guys,
delicately.
let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back in.
Same thing.
Let's start over here with Abby. What we have over there. Can we put the phone away, please? Thank you. So, like, what do we have here, Abby?
Well, we have something that gives off Mary Poppins meets Queen Elizabeth-ish vibes,
Okay.
and I'm here for it.
Okay. What are some things you noticed within it?
Well, me being me and in the phase I am right now, ruffles.
Okay.
I also noticed the lacing on the back,
Mhm.
which is a little interesting to me.
Okay.
Why
Why did you pick it? Out of everything that was on the rack, why did you pick that one?
I like the color, I like the cut, I like the detailing on, I like the detailed lace, I like this. And being completely honest, if I could fit it, I would wear it.
Okay. So what? Because I heard you say that you mentioned Mary Poppins. So what era do you think that this could be like targeted towards? What time period?
Like between the 40s and the 60s.
40s and the 60s? Okay. What other shows would you utilize that in? Because with theater, we have to be able to utilize our stuff for more than just one purpose. We can't just make one item and once the show's over, it's done. We need to find another purpose for it. So besides Mary Poppins, what else would you be able to use that for?
Well, have you ever seen the Dick Van Dyke Show?
I have.
You know his wife?
Let's come on in, guys.
I can't remember her name, but you know his wife?
Mm-hmm. Okay. What plays or musicals could you think of that you do know of
Pirates.
that would be useful for it?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. What are some things that you mentioned that you found within all of the dresses? What was some things that like you jotted down whenever it came to any of these dresses that Pedro or any of the other ladies happen to have?
Well, Cruella over there has tons of sequins, and the bottom section of fabric is a lot softer than I first thought it would be.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Abby. Thank you very much. Let's start over here now. What have you found interesting? Does somebody else have? Hey guys, let's come on back in.
We engaged in a conversation.
The dress that she has, I like the one from on the color. I like that the most.
Which one is it?
The one she has with her.
Okay.
And I like the cut at the bottom and the way it's shaped at the top. That's my favorite part.
Okay.
That's that mama dress.
Did you touch it and feel it to try to get a vibe? What was the texture of it like?
It was like softer
It was softer?
than I expected. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think it would be easy to move in at all, or do you think it would be challenging to move in it?
It would be challenging if like there was nothing underneath. Like moving around, it might go up too much. But other than that,
I was gonna say, because again, whenever we're making costumes, especially for musicals or plays, anything like that, we need to be able to think of the actor and think of what they're doing as that character. So if we make something that's too short or too tight and they need to like jump across the stage, what we're thinking of making them is not going to work out. So we have to think also of the practicality, not just the style and the texture of it. So what else did you find whenever it came to all of the dresses by touching? What were some things that stuck out to you?
This one, of course.
The Cruellasville dress?
Yeah. And that one, the black velvet, I like that one.
Which black velvet?
The one that she has, with the white lace on top.
White lace? Okay.
Met Gala?
That's the first one I checked.
And what about the, according to Abby, Met Gala dress is there that stuck out to you?
Not much.
Pedro. What about the dress that you picked out that you are interested in? What about it do you like?
My God.
The sequins? The sparkle to it? What else do you like about it? The softness to the bottom part? How it's flowy? What era do you think that dress is a part of? Like, what decade?
2000?
Honestly, it looks like it could have been a 2000s dress.
Some of it definitely. It's more of your late 80s to early 90s is what that era is. So you could definitely utilize it for the
Maybe
new
going to church.
show that is going around called Prom the Musical. You could utilize it for that because it's based on a prom at a high school in Indiana set around the 90s to early 2000s. So you could definitely utilize it for things like that. What else do you think we could utilize that dress for, Pedro?
Dance.
What kind of dance? Like, would it be like a waltz, like very professional, like postures up, or like a fun where you can move your skirt around? Fun skirt one? What else did you find interesting within all of the items that I pulled? Which one? The sparkly one over there or the brown one? The brown one? What did you like about the brown one?
Oh, my bad.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Bars.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Your phone stopped recording.
Okay, that's fine. What about you? What is interesting to you guys over there? Did you find a dress that you liked? What's some things you jotted down about the dresses? Different fabrics? Did you feel some of the fabrics? What kind of fabrics were there? This one? Alright, interesting with this one is it's a thicker, double pleated fabric. Because if you see as I pull it apart, there's two different pieces. And there are two entirely different fabrics. We have more of a very sheer, like almost silky, but it's not quite because it's a little more opaque and you can see through it fabric. So that you can do the beading work on it, just like you saw within those videos yesterday for Wicked. It's the exact same fabric as what you saw for that. This dress itself goes and ties in anywhere between the 20s, anywhere within the 20s, so that entire decade. A little bit more of that flapper era, because whenever you have it up, the knees are shown, but it's still low enough that they can move around and
That's
do
what I
it
thought of with this one.
backwards. That's exactly what that one is. That one's also a flapper one. But also has a little bit of that Scandalous vibe tying in with the ankles by having it being a low cut. So you're able to tell stories just within it. Along with that, do you think in the 1920s, somebody who didn't make a lot of money would be able to afford a dress looking this nice or like that one with all of the sequins on it?
No.
Exactly. This holds detailing and a story in the sense of what class people were in. Being able to have a more sophisticated, elegant, showy dress since that higher class and that stature of who you are. So yeah, thank you very much. What you got for me? Okay, what about it? What is it first off? Is it a dress or is it a
Like a
nightstand?
nightgown, like
That's where the
so
bed-
you sleep in.
for sleep, yeah.
Cause it's silky. I like it silky.
It's giving me Carrie vibes.
Like yeah, like
Kinda, a little bit, yeah.
I just think of it as a nightgown.
What's
Okay.
it up to?
Or stuff you try to look cute in at night.
Very close. That's actually a little slip that you put on underneath.
Maybe
So,
that gonna pop
Back
the
in
You
like
put this on underneath something.
Yeah, you put a slip on underneath a dress that like makes you really itchy.
yeah, if
But
the dress
I
the dress
have a
makes you
two-part.
itchy.
I have a 2-part slip at home actually.
Mm-hmm.
What's a
So.
2-part slip?
It's basically like a camisole and a skirt.
What's a camisole?
It's like a tank top. It's like a cami.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of cami?
I have
Cami is just short for camisole.
I've never heard of that.
Tank top. And it was strapped tank top.
It's not spaghetti strap. Camisole usually is like 2 fingers.
Let's
I
see.
hate those.
But no, so very close. That actually is a slip. So you would put it on if a fabric is itchy at all, or if also it was a little more sheer of an outfit. You can pull that over to make it more of a solid color, so that your undergarments won't be shown. And we also use that within theater because there's sometimes, especially within movies, we like to have historic accurate pieces to fit that time period that you're telling of that story. So when you see in movies, or you see sometimes watching like behind the scenes, like Broadway changes, you'll see some people sometimes wearing like little night slips underneath to be able to just make it more of a historic piece. Because the thing is also, it helps a lot for an actor to have a historic piece, because then it helps bring their character more to life and understanding where their character is coming from in that time period that their character is based in. What you got for me? What is that?
It's a dress. It's like so soft. It's I don't know what kind of color black it is, but it's a dark black.
Okay.
It's like black velvet.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
It's the fabric's velvet.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
It's like fluorescent black.
Yeah, that's it.
And what spoke to you about this dress? What made you want to pick out that dress?
Well, I like the color black, and it was poofy at the bottom.
And what era do you think that dress is set in?
I really don't know, cause somebody could dress their little daughter in this and go to church.
Oh my god.
No, I think like
We
all
all
had
had
some
some
time
time
to dress
like that.
Cause I Yeah. was
Like a newborn.
my grandma was big on church, and she used to get us these dresses all the time.
What is too black for her?
Not that color, but
Yeah, not this color, but
But a style like that.
Do you think that that fabric would be easy to wear under hot stage lights?
No,
no.
this is thick.
I feel like it because like the arms and everything's out, and the chest area is kind of all out, and your legs kind of out.
You get a
What
little
does
high,
it
you
feel
feel
like
me?
it
Just
On the
Fluff it
inside?
out, feel like air up
also,
there.
I feel it's like the type
Yeah.
of
But like
fabric
Velvet
that
is
goes on the inside.
thick though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the inside of
It is, but it's like real poofy, so it's not like it just thick on you. It's like just thick in general. It's not thick.
See, that is probably something I would wear something like that underneath,
Now, if anything,
cause that looks a little itchy.
That over there and that,
Yeah.
not that. It's probably heavy.
Yeah.
But it's like, and the inside is kind of like, it's a different texture, like it's cooler.
And that's the thing that you always have to think about whenever you're making a dress from scratch, for like having a custom designed dress, as we saw again in Wicked. You have to think of the stage lights, how hot it's going to be. Is it something, not only can they dance in, but can they dance in comfortably? Can they move in comfortably? So definitely with it having that under layer that's a little more of a silkier one, it's easier to breathe in. But if they just had that velvet by itself, and the combination of it being black and the stage lights,
Yeah,
be a lot of sweat. A lot of sweat everywhere.
that's fine.
What else did you find within all the costume pieces that were up there? What else did you find that like spoke to you and was interesting? Like, was it the beadwork? Was it the colors of something?
The purple one back there.
This one? What about this spoke to you?
Oh my god, I used to like
I don't know, it's just pretty. It reminded me of when they would do that little shake dance on TV and woo they dress.
The what dance?
I don't know.
You think about when they have little feathers in their hair and stuff like that?
I don't know.
Are you thinking about flappers and then
this
like
type of dress.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinking about fluff.
That's because again, this is another one that comes from that time period. In fact, this one I believe was like, it's a recreation of what it was, but I believe that this one was made about in the 80s. But yeah, no, this brings out that exact cut. All of these, this, and the other, yes, that flapper one, are all recreations of what a flapper dress in the 1920s would
That's
be.
giving me like staying home, cleaning up vibes.
Yep.
The blue one.
What?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit like a
Ew.
moo.
That's giving me
Like this
old people.
putting it on, just to clean up the house type vibes.
That's from the church music.
Yeah, or like that woman, like she just said the church lady, but like forget it.
No. Journey, what were you saying? What was your thought?
Remember. No.
I can see my great grandma in that, like just cleaning, about to cook us dinner, all the grandkids, something like that.
Yeah,
The cut definitely. like-
And that's not giving you no curves. It's like straight down.
well, that's how it is also for this. And if you hold up the one
See,
that
no,
you grabbed,
See, that's tight. Like if anybody was to get in that, it'll fit their body. But that just like
it won't. With the body curves that we have now, absolutely. Because the other thing is, not only has style and fashion changed throughout the decades, body styles have also changed throughout the decades. We had.
like just a black. I'm sorry.
No. I just. You started to say something, so I wanted to hear it. What were you saying?
How did it change?
I'm saying.
I could fix this.
Well, very much in the 60s. The 60s was all about, like, being very, very small. There was a woman that was a model named Twiggy, and she wasn't named Twiggy for the fact of her being slender. That just happened to be her name, and that happened to be her figure. She was super small, super petite.
That's her actual name?
Yeah, her name was Twiggy.
It was a different
I would have
way.
been mad at my parents.
And so, for the longest time, all the way from the 60s all the way up until Kim Kardashian, the whole idea of bodies was to be super small and to be itty bitty. And now we're in the era of having small waist, larger hips. Like, our mindsets change just as much as style changes. So definitely, like, this looks like it would be tight, but for the time period that it was, because this, again, this would be for the 20s. In the 20s, they had a little bit of curves, but a lot of their dresses just hung still. And so with that, they would have them also fit your body the way that it should and fitting to still. It was a different time. Very, very different
I
time.
know. I'm talking about Pedro.
Rachel, put the dress down. Alright, what else we got? So, Journey, what did you find?
Okay, I got this.
It's giving me
I like
like
that
2000
slit.
prom.
Yeah.
The slit.
Before they had fashion back then.
I don't know, they had it, just weren't using it right.
I mean, I came back then.
What about it stuck out to you that you enjoyed?
Well, that is black because it's my favorite color, and I just like this part. I just don't like how the dress is like, how it looks like that.
It's no support. Look, you got big, you feel me? And like, it's no support. Don't nobody want to put them on.
Those aren't supposed to be put
I'm about to
on.
say, make the dress look no.
No, that's just to help give more, like, how do you see what the body looks a little bit more like?
It's no
Taking
support.
it, yeah, those get tucked inside. So it will all be held by around the neck.
Oh,
But like, what if it's like her stuff is like
On the
real-
hanger.
real big?
I don't know, it's the
Like,
same
what if
part.
her?
Well, if you have a large chest,
Yeah.
Yes.
I still need to break them.
It's
you
not
wear it.
The
support.
rubbery ones.
You can't wear it, or you gotta find a way. You can take it to a seamstress.
You wear a
Seamstress can
strapless
insert
bra?
cups.
Yeah, but strapless bra, they help, but they really don't help.
Yeah.
They just fall.
They don't help.
They don't help mine. I just.
But what else about it? Was there something about the fabric and the texture of it? Was it something about the collar and the neckline of it that you enjoyed?
Yeah, it's just this. This is just what stood out to me. That's just it.
And what about it stood out to you that was interesting?
It's sparkling.
It sparkled?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the flower stuff.
Okay. What would you replace if you were the costume designer and I said I need something that looks like that? What would you choose the pattern to be?
I don't know, just not that.
Okay.
I have to like think about it. It'll probably take me like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And what else did you find throughout the various items that was interesting to you? What were some things you jotted down?
I like that dress.
You like that dress?
Yeah.
Why do you like that dress?
It's just pretty.
It's pretty.
Like about picture I'll wear it. Yeah.
You would wear it?
Yeah.
Look. He loves showing that dress.
What else we got?
Make sure he don't take it with him.
It's like a cream colored dress or whatever.
Okay.
It has a little bitty slit in the back, you know, give you a little room, cause it's tight, right? You know, it's real plain. It's giving me like a bridesmaid type of vibe, but you know, cause of this part, this is the dang near the only part I like about it,
Okay.
because they decided to add this onto it and it made it, you know, it made it look better.